Thank you very much, Peter Meyer. I have really the privilege to be here. You're celebrating your anniversary, yeah? Congratulations, the 5th International Symposium on Complications in Gastrointestinal Endoscopy. And it's really my privilege, first of all, to say some introductory welcoming words in the name of UEG, United European Gastroenterology. We celebrated last week the 25th anniversary, the 25th UEG week from October 28 to November 1. These are the figures we had. Despite all the turmoil in Barcelona, it was really a special challenge to start the week on October 28, just the day when the cabinet in Madrid decided to pull paragraph 155, and at the same time the Parliament of Catalonia decided to declare independence, and every day they announced a strike for the next day for transportation. This was not an easy task. Nevertheless, there was no strike, and we had 12,810 participants, which is more than last year. We had a record postgraduate course of 3,253, and also the SGINA, the nurses organization, has a record attendance. What is interesting that UEG Week is really an international meeting now. You see 2/3 come from European countries, and nevertheless almost 20% come from Asia, more than 5% from the United States, and 5.5% from Latin America. And in the top 10 countries, you see that there is UK number top, so Brexit, United Kingdom number 1. We have Japan, USA, and China, 3 non-European countries in the top 10 countries. And we also had a record submission of abstracts, 3,997. I pledged for 3 more abstracts to call it 4,000, but we failed. What we really achieved is United European Gastroenterology. It's a umbrella organization that challenges 47 national societies from 42 countries, and now the slide is already outdated. Since 2 days ago, we elected ESPEN, the European Society of Parenteral and Enteral Nutrition, as the 17th member society. So I think if you think of gastroenterology, you cannot do without nutrition. We have 16, now 17 member societies, and the European Society of Gastrointestinal Endoscopy is one of the strongest members. We have a House of European Gastroenterology, Wickenburggasse 1 in Vienna, 500 square meters. You are always welcome to visit, regarded as your home. And this is our staff, 30 people staff, and it's a pleasure to work with them. We created in our white book, and this based on Michael Farthing, my predecessor, digestive health. One of the problems when we look at reimbursement in various countries and at the European level and fighting for research support is cardiology is very easy to understand for politicians. It's a muscle that is pumping blood, and there are 3 vessels supporting the muscle, and you have 3 diagnoses to care of: the 1, the 2, and the 3 vessel disease. Digestive health is much more heterogeneous, and it's very difficult. You have endoscopy, you have IBD, you have liver, you have pancreas, you have oncology. But we try to cover this all as an umbrella organization. We want to unify in diversity. We take care of the week, which is the #1 event. We have EU affairs. We have an office in Brussels now. We have a journal. I was pleased to see Professor Germer citing a paper from the UEG journal, which reached an impact factor of 3.9 for a young journal. It's very good. We are traditionally well based in and situated in education, and we are now focusing on research, where we have the next major activity. So the mission aims are that we as UEG Week want to be #1 in digestive health, and I think we are at least on eyesight with DDW. We want to be the best in postgraduate education. We want to have better research for digestive health and to attract the young generation. And this is in particular encouraging. And I think the fate of our discipline and of digestive health, endoscopy, gastroenterology, hepatology, it all depends whether we are able to encourage the best of the youngest generation to develop their clinical or research careers in our field of gastroenterology and hepatology with the umbrella of digestive health. And there we all have to work on. So if you are a fan of sports like soccer, you always know that after the game is before the game, and you are invited for UEG Week 2018. But now I have the real pleasure to introduce to you the second dinosaur. And this is Friedrich Hagenmüller. For all of you, I think you know him better as Fritz. And I think there can be no more German name than Fritz. However, he is not typical German because he's an international giant in gastroenterology and endoscopy. He attended medical school in Frankfurt and Erlangen, and I think what you really can see from his career is what in academia is very, very important, to show mobility. And I think we have to criticize our system that it doesn't allow the young generation to move around as the old did. He went to 2 medical schools, then he became an intern at the University of Essen. It took him some months to understand that anesthesia is not the future he would like to see for himself. Then he moved to Hamburg, to Barmbek, to join Meinhard Klaassen. I think another dinosaur, but I think a triple dinosaur. And he joined him and moved with him in his loyalty to Frankfurt and then to Munich Technical University. And I think all the growth and the tremendous development that gastrointestinal endoscopy took globally is thanks to Meinhard Klaassen, and he at his side always had Friedrich Hagenmüller. This is how I learned to know him in the 80s. We met when he was in Frankfurt and then when he was in Munich. And I think you know better than I the pioneering work he did. I'm the wrong to worship this and to mention and highlight this, but I remember that this were the highlights of gastrointestinal endoscopy. And then in 1990 he moved to Hamburg, not to Barmbek, he moved to Altona, and here he founded. He came here in 1990, 1 year before I joined him in the north of Germany. But Fritz is always ahead of the scene. He chose the city with a 2H on the license plate of the cars, and I had to be pleased with 1H for Hanover. So he founded the Endoclub Nord, and I think this is, we say, Faro in Spanish, or we say a lighthouse in English, and we have the German phrase for der Leuchtturm. Yeah? And I think Endoclub Nord is der Leuchtturm of gastrointestinal endoscopy, at least in Germany and in Europe. And he is also heading the well-established Hamburg Arbeitsgemeinschaft für Gastroenterologie, the working group on gastroenterology. Our path is crossed several times. I would mention, for example, 1995. In 1995, Friedrich Hagenmüller was the president of the endoscopy section of German Society of Gastroenterology. I was the general secretary of German Society of Gastroenterology, and Rudolf Arnold from Marburg was the president of gastroenterology. We all together organized UEG Week, at that time still hosted, organized by a national organization. And then certainly he has been president of European Society of Gastrointestinal Endoscopy. He was president of German Society of Endoscopy and Imaging. And certainly he received many, many outstanding honorary memberships and also awards. I want to mention some of them. The most important one is the honorary member of the Argentinian Society of Gastroenterology and the Hungarian Society of Gastroenterology. Why, Fritz? Why are these the most important one? Because I'm also honorary member of Argentinian and Hungarian Society of Gastroenterology. Apart from that, certainly honorary member of ESGE and American Society of Gastroenterology. And then I just want to mention a few awards. There is also one outstanding award. This is the Maxi Oral Award of the Finnish Society of Gastroenterology in 1990. Why is it so outstanding? You can guess, because I'm also an awardee. But also the Hetini Geza Medal of the Hungarian Society of Gastroenterology and the Moutier Lecture Award of the OMED, Organisation Mondiale d'Endoscopie. I think Friedrich Hagenmüller is really an international figure, and that what you working in the field of gastrointestinal endoscopy cannot value is something I can value. Peter Meyer highlighted that he's such a nice and pleasant person to work with and to be with, and there is a nice English saying, it's nice to have him around, and I think this is at least as worth as the success in profession. But he's not only specialized in endoscopy, he's a true gastroenterologist internist, and this is highlighted that his hospital nominated him for 5 years to be the general medical director of one of the prestigious teaching hospitals of Hamburg University, and he's still in the advisory body of the Tumor Center of Hamburg. And this really illustrates you that he's not only regarded as a specialist endoscopist, that he has a sight far beyond this. So Fritz, congratulations to all you achieved, and it's really a pleasure to announce you in your hometown for your lecture now, Interval Cancers, Clinical Entity or Insufficient Endoscopy. The floor is yours, Fritz, and congratulations.